Welcome to birthday month.
Well, but you preface that with more importantly. I'm still waiting for the important part. Birthday month is not a thing.
Oh, but it is, Bill. It's a thing if in your heart of hearts you want it to be a thing, and I do.
You're going to get to an age at some point when you get to around my age where these birthday months are not going to be a celebratory. And again, no one else on planet Earth does a birthday month, but this is indeed yours.
No one else on earth. I will disprove that falsity with ease next week.
um, I guess happy birthday month.
Thank
Five Fan
you.
aided and abetted your sociopathy. He released a Joanne's birthday month graphic a couple of days ago, I guess.
Inserting here.
Or
Oh,
not.
look at that.
You don't have to.
Look at how great. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. You'll be happy to know that we always wanted to celebrate and did once. I believe Margaritaville is on some sort of other new funder and is still kind of scraping by after filing Chapter 11. Non-longtime fans would note that Joanne is a parrot head. We always want to take her to Margaritaville for her birthday month. But because this is what she deserves, this is the one city on planet Earth, not just America, where Margaritaville does not work and is not doing well.
Now,
$1 billion franchise everywhere else. All right.
God, I missed that. I got to go back. You did get me a gift card. Bill, I think we might be live streaming.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I pressed a button last week trying to figure it out. Okay, yeah, we are. Hey, well, this is a great this is totally us. This is us.
Wow.
Our
I can't even make fun of you because you do all the stuff that I don't know how to
Good.
do. So
You guys, I wanted to alert everyone beforehand, tell them to tune in. But yeah, okay, see, I don't even know how to do all the things yet. You guys, I haven't even looked into this. But Healthy Fire says rise and shine. And Sydney says, glad to see your faces live.
thanks, Sydney. How do they even know that we're live?
Okay, so I attached our YouTube. So we're on a platform called Riverside, but our YouTube, it's synced. And Jay says, Bull's first time awake this early since the firing. Happy mistake. Thank you, Jay.
Here's the problem. We usually edit out all your racial slurs, but
Oh
we're
my
live now.
gosh. I know. And you all don't get the graphics. Darn it. But I think I can then also put this online and maybe add the graphics later. Wow. I think
Oh
there's
no,
also
and a lot of my stories have video.
well, we'll have to save those. Yes, Tom says popped up on YouTube. Oh, you know what? Show on stream. Popped up on YouTube. See, I'm learning all of these things. Wow.
Only us would go on live not knowing that we were on live.
Wait.
Well, hey, by the way, Joe,
Yeah.
much for my Karjitsu story because it really requires video.
I know. Well, maybe then, Bill, we should do a little switching of gears and really open this up for people. We'll do some stories, but we'll also open up the Q&A.
Sure. I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that people are aware of this, that we weren't even aware.
Yeah, I think YouTube does like a little notification perhaps. But yeah, Sydney says, keep going. You're doing great.
Thanks, Sydney.
Thank you, Sydney.
Well, here's the problem, Sydney. One of my stories involves a ping pong playing robot. Of course, the sport of Karjitsu. Indeed, a bear cub kidnapped by 2 Canadians. Mm-hmm. Are there any other kind of bear kidnappers?
No.
And taken to Taco Bell. All of them would be served so well by the appropriate video that we now cannot do because we're live.
Well, Bill, I would love to see you acting like a bear cub.
Oh boy, you're the one that has the bare minimum graphic.
I know. So yeah, Q&A. If anyone has any questions for us,
nothing birthday month related, please.
It can be birthday month related. Yeah, let us know if you also celebrate birthday month. But yeah, if you got any salacious stuff you want to ask Bill, go for it.
She doesn't know what salacious means.
I don't.
Anything more than 2.
Does it mean salty?
All right, you got it. You nailed
Yeah,
it. All right, well, let me find one that doesn't involve a lot of graphics. Okay, I got this one because if you and I agree on anything, let's face it, we don't. But we don't like crowds. And you know
certainly
what?
not.
America is starting to come around with us, Joe, but there's other reasons as well. You see, every pretty much every music festival this year has been losing money, if not canceled altogether.
Hmm.
Burning Man, which I believe is a festival where they take an unsuspecting man and burn him, um,
Ooh.
began last week, and it failed to sell out for the first time since 2010. Tickets with a face value of $575 have now been flogged on the secondary marketplace at less than half the price due to lack of fan interest, something that you and I can both relate to. Recent years have seen both record breaking heat and torrential rain, leaving festival goers scorched and stranded in the mud. But Burning Man is not only the only one that's having a tough year. Coachella, ugh, I have unfortunately been at Palm Springs.
Which is, it's Burning Man with more clothes.
I guess, yes. And even hotter. America's biggest music and arts festival has failed to sell out. So did the Reading and Leeds Festival, not in America, which began in Britain on August 21st. More than 50 British festivals have been canceled so far this summer. Boy, that's a lot. Higher costs are partly to blame, but the lockdowns of 2020 and 2021 put many live companies out of business, reducing the supply of everything from lighting technicians to portable toilets. Oh, Joe needs her portable toilet.
Yeah.
When pent up demand was later unleashed, the result was soaring prices. And of course, our old pal, Jennifer Lopez, canceled her concert series amid reports of weak sales. Festivals have been hurt by changes in listening habits, algorithmic recommendations by streaming platforms like Spotify have funneled fans into that have everyone becoming more fragmented as far as what they like and listen to. Basically, people like echo chambers, not festivals with various different types of music, Joe.
Mm.
Rita, I love this. In June, Rita Ora tried to get a crowd at the Mighty Hoopla Festival in London to join in with one of her songs, but no one knew the lyrics. In April, when a Coachella crowd was unmoved by a performance by Blur, its frontman, Damon Albarn, scolded them, saying, "You'll never see us again, so you might as well fucking sing it." And that has been a pattern.
Yeah. I mean, I like going to a concert. We know I go to pretty much every John Mayer concert I can.
What do we call those concerts?
Would we call those concerts? Yes, we would.
I think they're more like a cult awakening.
Members of cults can still go to concerts, Bill.
All cults have music. You're right.
But it's the idea of the festival, right? Like it's such a commitment. And I would just say that our society, more than the crowds that we dislike, it's commitment we dislike. It's the idea of like, oh shoot. Okay, 3 days off of work.
Yeah.
And now I gotta buy a tent. And I have to pack my own toilet paper. And, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of logistics. And once you're out there, right? Like you're in
Yes.
the desert for most of these.
Mm.
So then in that case, you have a moment where you're like, do I really want this? Do I? And it seems in most cases the answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember as much as I enjoyed the music, and this is all even before my time, and the footage and the stories behind Woodstock, even as a kid, I remember looking at that whole mess and thinking, no thanks.
Yeah.
The mud and a lot of times the bad weather overall, Altamont almost seemed better. Just because even though, as we all know, the Hell's Kitchen took it down with their lack of security and the killing of the people, at least that was just one day. But with Woodstock, that to me was more a murder of the senses. It was so many people, so few toilets, so much mud bathing.
But Bill, do you
I like bare breasts as much as the next dude, but
do you feel this way now in your very late 40s, or would you also feel this way when you were like 20, 21? I do think it is
It
uh,
is.
a sort, it's for young people. The older we get, the more we're like, I need orthopedic shoes to stand that long.
I guess I wasn't even wearing orthopedic shoes back then with the bunion soles. Um, yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, and I do think that certain types of, say, claustrophobic or just fear of crowds, period, things certainly get worse as you get older. They certainly have for me. But I always feel like you were born Joanne Ma. So I'm surprised that you even tolerated a John Mayer MSG concert once a year.
Well, that's the thing. It's pretty much the only concerts I go to are the John Mayer concerts. And, I get there early. I make sure, I have my seat already. Someone's smoking around me. I'm like, oh God. And, I'm still a Joanna as I do it, but I put up with certain things for John.
In between songs, do you go through your scratch tickets, lotto wise? And if it's cold, do you have your Afghan on in the
Gosh,
middle?
why didn't I think to bring scratch offs? Talk about feeling lucky, right? Like, ooh, I'm in the presence of John Boy. And then I do my little scratchy scratch and I'm even more of a winner. That's a good idea.
Scratch.
Um,
Oh
I
God.
will be soon going to another concert. Dashboard Confessional is coming to New York City.
Okay. I'm not even gonna pretend
I
to know what they are.
was so into them when I was in high school. They're a real emo band. And I can't wait. I'm very excited. I'm going to be reliving my angsty back brace days.
Wait. See, I would have thought that that would have been more the period where you got your bob. Because I remember those pictures and thinking how different you looked. And if I recall, the very short haircut, which I assume is emo related, was a reaction to a bad breakup, as often they are. And I thought that that was sort of your emo period.
It was, you're half right. I did cut my hair the day after my long my long-term college boyfriend, and I don't know why I did that for long-term. My long-term college boyfriend
Well, now I know why you broke up.
and I broke up, but more true to me, I did it for a role, Bill. I was playing Sally Bowles in Cabaret. And
Oh,
in my mind, I'm like, wearing a wig won't look good enough. Let me cut my hair into a short German bob. And so it was both things.
I
I
think
remember
I
after
think
getting the haircut, I like saw my ex the next day and I was kind of hoping he would hate it. So like we could,
nice.
move on quicker. Um,
Um, I love that you thought, well, this will help him because clearly he's still so into me. Maybe my much shorter hair will help him in the grieving process.
yeah. Yeah.
Every time I see our duty free graphic, I think of you in those days. That's as close as we've got to something with you with the bob on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Boy, by the way, you always make fun of method acting. That was method, my friend. You didn't do the wig.
No, what would be method is if I actually took up smoking, I became a cabaret lounge singer dancer, and found a Nazi to fall in love with.
uh, See, this goes back to us having to constantly censor all of her racial slurs. She's always looking for a Nazi to fall in love with when we're not live. We have no
Sure.
cushion right now. Um,
I let me see if let me I found a message everyone feature. Let's see if this works.
oh my God, listen to your little clicking.
I wrote hi everyone. I don't see it on the chat. I
This
don't know, y'all.
this is terrible.
Because
Um,
the
but
thing is,
marry us.
I don't even know how to undo what I did. Uh,
Um,
I'm like
well,
stuck in this live recording option. So like for future taped recordings, who
I
knows? Maybe
wonder
we'll
if we're
just
even recording it. Um,
it says live recording, so we'll see.
Hilarious. Well, I'll spare you my overall thoughts on what was a really exceptionally entertaining start to our 2024 NFL season because I'm told you have some Bachelorette news.
Yes. A little bachelorette etiquette, if you will.
Do I pretend like we're throwing that up for when we release this not live, or because we do have
Maybe.
graphics for these things, people? Believe me.
Wow, look how cute. I don't know. Okay, it was the Bachelorette finale a few nights ago. It's new to us discussing it, even though it happened a few days ago. Jen Tran was the first Asian American Bachelorette.
Boo!
Bill.
Oh, sorry. Edit that out.
We can't. And she went on this incredibly long journey to find love, down to two guys. Marcus, who is he was an Army Ranger.
Boo!
Bill, he he really went through it emotionally. Had a really hard time opening up. He was in the foster care system. Does anybody love me? Kind of issues. And then this guy, what is his name? Devin, who kind of looked like Pete Davidson. And he was very much like love bombing her. The other guy was like, I don't know if I'm in love with you. So she ended up with the love bombing guy. Well, guess what? He was love bombing her because after the proposal, he broke things off. He immediately
was that on
changed.
air?
Well, we find out at the reunion, at the Final Rose live event, that they broke up a month ago. He broke up with her over the phone. And they haven't spoken in person yet. So let's bring him out. It was the cringiest thing.
Oh, man. I'm going to start getting into this.
We're bringing this girl out. She is sobbing, like hyperventilating. They bring him out. She is just giving it to him. He's doing the whole, your feelings are your feelings. You know, I'm not going to say that they're not valid.
I'll get right some of this down.
This wasn't my intention, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't show the proposal segment because she proposed to him. She was like, you know, I'm going to do something that's never been done before. I'm choosing myself. I've always chosen bad guys before, so I'm making the decision here. So she proposed to him, and they were like, out of respect for Jen, we're going to let them talk. We're not going to show it. After they talk, Jesse Palmer, the host, is like, all right, Jen, is it okay now if we show the proposal? I think the audience wants to see it. And you see her face that's just like completely defeated. And she goes, do I have a choice? And then he's like, let's roll the tape. And you just see then the reaction shot, the little box of her face in the corner. And she is just sobbing, watching this back. People online are not happy with ABC. They're like, this is cruel. This is voyeuristic. It feels wrong. And I got to say, it was good TV.
Thank you. Of course.
It was good.
I mean,
it was good
they
TV.
not only love that it happened, but now that they love the fact that they can say online that they hated that it happened. They're getting their little cake, and I'm going to say it.
Oh, yeah. Viewership is up. It's all about the ratings. And this girl now is in the new cast of Dancing with the Stars, the new season. So good for her. I think she dodged a bullet with this guy.
Did she sleep with any of them? I always like it when they do that.
So that's what we don't know. Some contestants are a little more upfront about that. And they'll be a little more honest. They'll still be cheeky about it. Like, we really got to know each other last night. I'm a happy girl. But she was pretty reserved about it. And she had kind of explained, because in Vietnamese culture, like even just showing PDA is a little much. So she's like, my family is probably going to have a hard time watching me kissing all these guys on TV.
Those are always quietly the party girls, though.
But Bill, so they premiered at the end of this live show the next season of The Golden Bachelorette. It's an older woman who's looking to find
that one off again. Ugh.
Bill, you have to become a contestant on The Golden Bachelorette. You need to step out of that limo and introduce yourself to a 65-year-old woman. You're coming into a new phase of your life. They might want a younger dude. You got to think about this.
My concern is they're going to be like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be, we were going to have same sex options. And again, immediately assume I'm an older lesbian. That is my concern, particularly if they're older, their eyes aren't so good, they don't see my raw masculinity, and immediately just go, Billie Jean King. You know, I don't want that to happen for me on live TV. It's the equivalent of the Asian lady proposing to the dude and getting rejected.
I just think it would be really entertaining.
Yeah, I know it would be entertaining for you to see me get more humiliated than usual. I would like that rose ceremony though, and I feel like I could beat some of them. My competitive nature would come out, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
I have to buy a tuxedo.
But Bill, okay, so you know that when these guys come out of the limo, they have some cool introductory thing. Either it's like
Yes.
a poem or it's a little gift or they arrive on a horse. What would your thing be?
I would bring these guys out and I would do an off the cuff, cute little puppet show. Who else has ever done that? I'm the
Honestly,
boy raccoon. I'm the girl one. All right, older lady, who's the bachelorette, sorry, the golden one. Here is what I predict you and I are going to be doing later in the show. Me, me. Cop in a field? Not yet. It's our first date. Okay, agree to raccoon, disagree. You got it. Let's go eat some trash. But not during the daytime. If we are in the daytime, that means we have rabies.
wow.
Meep.
That's
I
wonderful.
win.
Yeah.
I won the Bachelorette.
Well, and you know what? A lot of these women, or I'm sure moving forward, will have grandchildren, and they will love the fact that they have, free entertainment for their grandkids. That's so nice.
You're not kidding. Last weekend, I was spending a lot of time with the nieces. They're at that peak age where they don't know what a failure I am. And they love them some Uncle Bill. Like, it's I got to tell you, my sweet spot is about 6 to 10. My nephews are already teenagers, and they're like, Bill's made some questionable decisions, but the nieces they love me. Yeah, they don't realize that I'm pretty much dependent on my folks at this point.
Do you think they will realize that, or will someone have to tell them? Because, as a
Not that far.
kid, everything in your world you just think is normal. You're like, oh, everyone has a bachelor uncle who has lots of toys and incredibly large bunions. But then you meet your
Wow.
friend's
I'm
uncle.
trying to think how I hurt you this week because you're just really
Then
digging into that.
you meet your friend's uncle who works in finance and wears a tie and carries a briefcase and I don't know, is also a raging alcoholic. So that would be the same. But
Yeah.
otherwise, they don't know until they know. So I just say ride this out. There's no reason to put yourself down yet, Bill.
That's the other worst part. Playing with the nephews, just throwing the football around for not that long. I can barely lift my arm right now.
Sure.
And there's not much physical exertion, but just the entire right side of my body, it's like I had a stroke.
Well, you got to stretch first. Oh, wait. Speaking of football.
Yes.
Yeah. It started.
Yeah. Yes. You missed
Joanne
Taylor.
looks at football.
I think I sent you, not purposely for the show, just for shits and giggles. I sent you a link last night of what Taylor was wearing.
Yeah, I already saw it on social media.
So what did you think? Yay or nay to the denim outfit? I figured that's what you'd be interested.
Love a denim outfit, especially with her vibe and style. It's super throwback to the 70s. She's wearing these knee-high boots. It's very Daisy Duke kind of style. But speaking of, god damn, she's wearing hardly any clothing, Joanma. And I'm just like, that can't be comfortable. Especially, when you sit down, it's hardly covering your cheeks at all. It doesn't feel very sanitary now, does it?
Looks like she was standing the whole time because she's that supportive and on the edge of her seat girlfriend. But
Yeah.
they did do a lot of patented Taylor Swift cutaways. I remember Travis having much of a game, but unbelievably exciting ending. The Ravens were about to tie it up, and we should both be very upset that they didn't. The receiver was out of bounds by quite literally half a toe. It was a very nail biting type of situation at the end. But our own five fan Photoshop, Matt Smith, is a big Ravens fan, and we should be in mourning for him. It's just the beginning of the season, and these are the world champions. But no time in modern NFL history has a team won 3 championships in a row. The
Oh.
Chiefs the Chiefs could do it this year, and I see no reason why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
I do see a reason why the Bears might make the playoffs. We'll see.
I didn't realize football started.
Thursday night football started the whole season. Yes.
Is this technically preseason, or how does that work?
No, this is it. This is game 1. Yeah, started as of last night, and I assume you're going to be joining me. Although I don't know if I can afford it, but at my Bears bar, don't worry, it's right nearby in my neighborhood, and as the crows fly, that's not that far from you. I'm assuming you'll be joining me for first game of the Bears season. I forget who we were even playing.
Oh, but Bill, why are you wearing your Bears shirt now? You got to wear it to the bar.
Oh, it's only 2 days from now. I can still do it.
Oh.
Lots of talcum powder.
The stink won't settle in yet.
Thank you. All right, now you're starting to see my neck of the woods.
You know, I would go to a Bears bar.
Would you? No, not that. No, I'm not talking about heavyset gay men.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, because they love me.
Not a Bear Force One situation. Although I would go to that type of Bears bar too. Those are my favorite kind of gays. I like it when they bench press me. All right. Well, I'll do a ladies' choice here. Do you feel like, I don't know, I have a Nobody's in New York, but it's kind of boring. I'm having second thoughts on that. And we can't do I have a dick pic story that involves the actual back and forth between the girl that is threatening the guy for sending an unsolicited dick pic that I thought would be a good anything you can do where we actually play it out, but you don't have it in front of you.
Yeah.
All right, this is good.
This is great. I mean, should we ask everyone else who's watching what they would rather?
Are people watching?
I don't know. It says we have a few, but the messages, there's none. So the chat, I'm not sure how that. Hey, if you've just joined us, type a message so I can see if it's working.
Okay, I got one. This was I sort of dusted this one off, but it's an evergreen.
I don't know.
Women should have this much sex every week to avoid early death. That is a headline. I kind of remember cutting and pasting that before I even read the thing. The Randy research, this has got to be the Post, with that alliteration, recently published in the Journal of Psychosexual Health. Oh, I know you're a subscriber.
My favorite journal.
Found that females age 20 to 59, is there any other kind, who had sex infrequently, less than once per week, wow, were at a 70% increased risk of all-cause mortality. What the hell does that even mean? Women were disproportionately affected by lack of sexual activity, whereas too much sex for men resulted in an increased risk of mortality. How does that even work from an evolutionary standpoint? Sexual activity, the authors wrote, is important for overall cardiovascular health, possibly due to reduction of heart rate variability and blood flow increase. Where women could benefit from more sex, however, it seems men might benefit from less. Researchers found that too much sex increases men's mortality risk by 6-fold compared to the opposite for women. Joe, try to explain this unexplainable thing to me.
Okay. Well, I think
that's a huge disparity.
I think it's a chicken and an egg thing. I'm assuming too much sex means you're not married. because I hear most married couples don't have sex. So then I would assume if you're not married, you're making riskier life choices because you don't have a nagging wife being like, don't jump out of a plane and don't do drugs and go to your annual physical. So I don't know that it's the sex that causes this. I think the sex is a byproduct of the lifestyle choice, which that lifestyle choice then results in an early
Not
death.
bad. Every once in a while, you surprise me and say something vaguely coherent.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I think that overall, and
Yeah.
well, actually, now I have some science to base this on, per the study. I have always felt that that sex takes something out of a dude. I mean, we've done a bunch of studies that have said that the whole, you know, stay away from women rock, they weaken the knees, that whole thing of like before a big fight or a big game, guys abstaining, that it's kind of bunk. I've never thought that to be the case. I think that guys have a bunch of sex all the time. It really somehow depletes them. And when you think about the overall process, I think that there's something to that, which is why I'm going to live to be 120.
Sure. You certainly aren't depleted.
I am depleted, but not because of that.
Yes.
I decided to focus on booze rather than sex.
Speaking of, Bill, we're all dying to know, although I'm not sure because guys, the chat isn't working. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure. But Bill, I'm sure everyone has been asking in the chat and I'm not able to see it. What is behind you? What is this pile of filth that you felt we should all see?
I didn't even think you'd see it, but you're so observant. Well, that is actually a guest bed, believe it or not. It's a
Yeah.
series of pillows that can make up an actual bed, and I am doing spring cleaning, and so therefore cleaning the the cover of it, which is the part right there. And you caught me right before I was about to do it, and boy, is my face red. Not because I'm embarrassed; I just have a sunburn.
Why couldn't you just like put that pile like where your feet are right now, like out of view?
Is it that offensive to you? Is this how
Look
is this
at what I do. Look at what is behind me every
a
time. I
fake
got a
book?
beautiful poo statue. I got a beautiful Loris. I got a beautiful book. A ukulele I never play, and a guitar. Is that the bass? That might be a bass.
Look, let's do the roll call here. You have a statue dedicated to you for a massive dump you took,
Yes.
an animal that you look like, and a fake book. How are you beating me?
Fake. Ouch. That hurts my feelings.
There are no feelings to hurt. It's just the truth. And I'm told that'll set you free. You know what else is free? That book, because you can't get away with charging anyone for it because there's no pages. Oh, I'm sorry, there are pages, but it's a different book.
Bill.
Not something you wrote.
I mean, come on. Real book. Real jacket.
Hey, Joe, read the first chapter.
Real
Because I never got
back.
mine in the mail.
Okay, let the market decide.
Yeah, I can
Chapter
read that
1.
fake cover.
This book is dedicated to the people who believe in me. Oh, sorry, this is the dedication page. Dedicated mostly to those like John Mayer, who inspires me not only as an artist, but as a businessman. To Susie Orman, who always encouraged me to save money. To the creators of This Old House, who helped me learn how to install my IKEA furniture by myself. And to my mother, I may in fact write a book dedicated to her in the future called Trauma Rama. I got it from my mama. It's all right here, Bill. It's all right here.
Now read that again verbatim.
There's a spine too.
Read that again.
It's
very well glued together there.
I know. I've read it so much, it's falling apart. I read my own book all the time.
It's weird. Most covers to a hardcover book, they're not glued in that way. But I don't know.
This was the test copy, Bill.
Yes.
You know that there's actually, sorry, you wouldn't know there's test copies because you haven't written a book.
Well, then I guess we have that in common. But at least you got the fake cover.
rude. So rude.
Uh, I kind of want to do Karjitsu, but just in case we're not going to be able to put up the video after the fact, as we are indeed live right now, you're just going to have to use your imagination as to what any of that means.
Okay, I imagine it's jujitsu in a car.
Nailed it. Done with the story.
Yes.
All right, I'll do this one because I'm really starting to. Oh, actually,
We got 5 minutes, Bill. We got 5 minutes.
well, this will be a good opportunity for you to make fun of me. Duddy on the loneliness epidemic. David French, hated by both conservatives and liberals alike, did a column in the Times talking about just that. And he says, what is the most important single thing that you can do to heal our national divide and to improve the social and economic mobility of our struggling neighbors? Answer, you're not going to like it. Make a new friend.
Oh,
last month, the American Enterprise Institute released the 2024 American Social Capital Survey. That's my favorite survey. People with high school diplomas or spend less time in public spaces, less time in hobby groups, and less time in community groups or in sports leagues than those with college degrees or higher. This is so snobby. And they're less likely to host friends, family, and neighbors in their homes. Probably because they can barely afford a home. Is that what you're saying, David French? In 1990, an impressive 49% of high school graduates reported having at least 6 close friends. Joe, by 2024, that percentage had been cut by more than a half to 17%. That is a lot. The percentage of college graduates with that many friends also declined, but only to 33%, 45%. Washington Post's Michael Bender wrote that his experience embedded with Donald Trump's most loyal fans reflected a new way for some of these guys to get some camaraderie. Following Trump, Bender writes, had made their lives richer. aka these rabid followers of Trump that follow him from one state to another in these rallies. Ugh, I just can't imagine. They came for Trump, but they stayed for the relationships, Joe. Trump's rallies gave these Joes a reason to travel the country, staying at one another's homes, sharing hotel rooms, and carpooling. Writes David.
Carpooling. Nice. Good for the environment. Global warming.
Thank you. Yes. Ever since I started writing about American anxiety, polarization, and fear, I've gotten an immense amount of correspondence from people who are worried about the state of the nation and worried about people they know personally. An old friend who's gone from off the deep end, lost in conspiracy theories. I've started responding to the questions with a question of my own. How often do you spend time with them?
So I have a theory.
Okay.
To French's theory. So in terms of like the friends, when you're younger and then losing half of them, you know, by the time, I don't know, however many years later, I think there's people gravitate towards others for 2 different reasons. Either you like being around the people who knew you when, or you have changed and you don't want those people who knew you when. You want the people who align with you now. So I am still best friends with my 2 high school best friends because to me, there is something very special about the people who knew you when. And it was like such, even though I was wearing a back brace, greatest time in my life, sophomore year of high school. It was incredible, right? My college friends, I felt like, I don't know, it was more of a transitional time in my life. So like, we're not super close anymore.
They expect to see you in a bob.
Yes. At the time I needed them, but it's like I then didn't once I graduated. And then the friends I made in New York, I made them at my first restaurant job. So that was trauma bonding. That was crying and a walk-in together. So, you know, I think the friends that you hold on to, it depends on what you value most. So, you know, the Trump supporters or the conspiracy theorists, they have this common bond that maybe they can't share with their high school friends or whoever else. So that's what ties them together.
Yeah, mine's. I mean, I have to say, you've actually weirdly made some good points today, which is probably good that we're not recording it. But mine is the old cliche where all my friends are married, so I never see them anymore. You've met Ian Robinson,
Yeah.
way back in the day, but you basically see him as often as I do. It's like at this point, I mean, he lives in Rhinecliff with his two daughters and wife, but there you go. Two daughters and wife, I see him like twice, 3 times a year,
Yeah.
and that's kind of across the board with a lot of my friends. And you know what? F them. I don't miss them. It's their loss, Joe, that they don't
Yes,
get more quality time with this bad boy.
that might be why they're not reaching out to you, Bill.
They're not getting enough of the M to the E right over here.
The fact that you're so humble. All right. Well,
we're not going to see this awesome guest couch.
There's nowhere to stay. This has been a lovely first live stream. Again, if you're tuning in, I didn't realize we were live streaming until it was already happening, and I couldn't figure out how to end it.
Here's the problem. The time when we actually tell people we're going to be live streaming, that's when we F it up, and it won't actually happen.
I know.
This is the only time we actually get it right.
Something happened to the chat, at least on this platform. You might be seeing it all on YouTube if you're typing questions or comments, but it ended 5 minutes in on here. So I apologize if you're asking things or saying things and I can't read them out loud. I can't see them. I do want to, again, if you want to become a member of our channel, either a bare minimum member or a More You Joe member, if you're a More You Joe member in our incredible segment, The More You Joe, which I can't pop up now because we're live, I give you a shout out. So thank you to Tony Anastasio, Dick Mountain, my favorite mountain, and Aaron. Richard, but nice.
Richard
and Aaron, thank you all so much for becoming members. And yeah, hopefully in the future, I'll figure this out for y'all. But again, bare minimum. So I didn't know what I was doing.
If you do the bells and whistles in post, see how I use a TV term there?
Sure.
You should throw an old photo of you with your bob.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah. Cool. I want to see Emo Joe. Ooh, that's a new character.
Oh, I'll find something for y'all. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in.
Sorry about my laundry.
It'll hopefully be better next time, and Bill will be cleaner. All right. Bye.
I am clean.